So Dragon Ball, Digimon, One Piece, oof, what else? And there's now Lorcana. Lorcana? Who knows? It's a new Disney TCG that is coming out this year, I want to say. And there's been some information, including the rules, some new cards, and a lot of other information like OP stuff that just came out this week. I made a video before criticizing the game and just like being a little apprehensive, honestly. That's what I am. But if anything, I think it's shaping up to be pretty cool. It has a lot of elements from other games like Magic the Gathering, Keyforge, even like some Bandai games and things like that. And I'm interested. I really do like the art and it looks pretty interesting. Plus it's Disney. At least it'll give me some variety to play. And what I want to do today is actually go through some of the new rules that got revealed pretty recently, depending on this when this gets posted, and as well as my thoughts. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you want content on Lorcana? Let me know and subscribe if you're new. Now, there are a few articles that I referenced, which I'll put the links below as far as when we go through all of this, but on the actual Lorcana website or Disney website, it does confirm that it's going to be coming here this year during fall of 2023. You are a Luminaire. You will wield 6 magical links to summon glimmers of Disney characters. Glimmers will appear of etc, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of stuff as far as product that got revealed as well, where it has the treasure trove, a Luminaire's Trove, which has a bunch of stuff in it. I think it shows here a storage box, 2 deck boxes, 8 booster packs, 15 game tokens, and then 1 player's guide. But it also has the starter decks, and as well as just the regular booster packs, which the booster packs is cool. It's very thematic, like it's a Lorcana game. Ravensburger did pretty good as far as that goes. And for the starter decks, we have Mickey. This guy's name escapes me, sorry. And of course, Lion King. I think that's Simba. Obviously, there's other characters here, which means there's purple, yellow maybe, or orange, green, red, blue, and white. So I would imagine this is like more of control, this is more aggro, and this is like a mix / like skill level type thing. And that kind of fits the characters as well. And there's some other stuff, card sleeves, playmats, things like that got revealed as well. Now the important stuff is the stuff that got revealed when it came down to the booklet, or at least like the stuff that you might get within a starter deck. I think it's just the quick guide and as well as the rules, which we didn't have before. We didn't know how the game played or how or why it has certain symbols and stuff like that, but all of that got answered now, which is cool. We have all of the symbols here as well, which I don't know by heart. I haven't seen all of this stuff, so you're sharing the first impressions with me. The quick start rules, as a Luminaire, blah, blah, blah. It's pretty much the same stuff that we saw before. Summoning new glimmers. What kind of game is this? It's a strategy card game which each player makes their own deck before the game starts. Then the decks aren't mixed together, which is nice because it's just a regular old TCG instead of like I guess not a CCG. I forget the name for it, but it's like pre-sealed, not Keyforge, I guess, right? You can play one of the ready-to-play decks and make changes to those decks, or build a deck that's entirely your own. Pretty normal stuff, right? But the game overview is that in this game, you race to locate pieces of lore scattered around or across Lorcana, and collect them for safekeeping. Some glimmers of Disney characters and items along the way to help with quests, hinder your opponents, and challenging opposing opponents. With the right strategy and a bit of luck, you can preserve collected lore against future threats. So there's a few things where I've been reading where obviously, just like it was saying, you collect pieces of lore, and I think it's going to list it here or tell you here. The first person to gain 20 or more lore wins. Some card abilities give you lore, but the most common way to gain it is by playing characters and sending them on quests. So I think not every character has a quest, but when they do, obviously they'll get you closer and closer to winning the game. Obviously in like Dragon Ball, where you take life, or in One Piece you take life, or in Magic the Gathering you counter or you count your life and it goes down to a certain amount. This is racing to a certain amount instead. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see how that actually goes. I'd imagine that there's going to be cards, which obviously we're going to take a look at some of them here and other places, where you have quests and things that need to stay on the field. And in this game, it says it mentions banishing. So there's summoning sickness and there's banishing. So you can remove stuff through banishment, and as well as summoning sickness, where you can swing into it, where it's called exerted. But I'm getting ahead of myself, if anything. There's a learn to play here with the QR code, which probably gets back to here, or the the website. Okay, getting to the characters, there is Cruella de Vil, for example. There's characters that you send glimmers on quests into challenges, and into challenges. Some of them have special abilities. So like obviously this one is this challenge and banish, as in if you swing into it and then it gets removed, you may choose return the chosen character to the player's hand. Oh, I wonder if, wait, you return chosen character to the player's hand. I guess that means itself. I'm not sure. Items. Item glimmers stay in play, and when you play them, and when you give them, it gives you, okay. Items. Item glimmers stay in play when you play them, and they give you special abilities during the game. So it's like a stage or a field card, I guess. It's a dingle hopper. What a interesting name. Straighten hair, remove up to 1 damage from one chosen character. So I guess if you move it from here, is 0 damage with 3 health or 3 shield, whatever you want to call it, right? Which we'll find out in a second what's that officially called. Actions. Give you 1-time advantage and then discard it. So these, I guess, are like stage field cards. These are spell cards or whatever that you want to call it, extra cards, right? Banish a chosen character for 5 inkwell, or for 5 costs, basically. And then songs are a type of action, but you can play this, you can play one just like any other action, but by paying the cost and resolving the effect. But that's not the only option. Some characters can sing the song for you, so you don't have to pay the ink. Nice. Free play already, where this one is a character with 2 costs or more can do this sing song for free. Put the top card of your deck into your inkwell face down and exert it. I think that's a ramp card, because I think your inkwell is basically your energy or your what you pay for costs, basically. So I think we're going to see that in just a second. Pay parts of a card. On all cards, the cost is here, where this little hexagon, I guess. Don't clip that if I get that wrong. How much ink the card costs to play. So there's a card, whatever, right? The cards with this symbol, inkwell icon around it, the cost of the hexagon, oh, it is a hexagon, okay, can be put into your inkwell to use this ink. So, oh, okay, so I guess like if it has this thing, I don't think I saw it in the Cruella de Vil. Yeah, it looks pretty similar. Oh, these can't be used. Oh, okay. So these can't go into your inkwell, but these can. So it kind of forces you to decide if you want to play the character or not, right? And these are going to be used as energy or land or whatever you want to call it, right? Name. The characters also have a version name listed below. So, oh, okay. So the name and then the trait or the type of name. So obviously if you are gonna reference a card and there's like 10 different Mickey Mouses, then the wayward sorcerer Mickey Mouse is the one you'd be referencing to, and this is like purple, right? Classifications, categories, sometimes reference the card rules to such as broom, dreamboard, and sorcerer. So those are like their traits, okay? Ink is in the symbol and the colored band behind the card to indicate the card type's ink type, right? So this is like purple, and I don't know what that really means. I wish they said it, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 colors if we're gonna keep with that, and that's not too bad. That's not too bad. I think that's enough for 1 or 2 sets, maybe even 3 or 4. I don't think they really needed to go crazy, especially with this type of card game. And then abilities and effects, and they also confirmed rush, by the way. So everything has summoning sickness, as we understand, and there's rush, just like how One Piece and just like I guess any other summoning sickness type of game says so. Like this now has confirmed that there is going to be rush or like an aggro type thing, which I imagine is going to be red, and as well as I don't know about purple. I forget the other one for the start deck. We just saw it, but whatever the other color that they combine that with. And apparently there's only 1 or 2 colors you can add into the deck. Again, getting ahead of myself. Here we go. Ink key. So amber. I already am not gonna remember this. That's just, I'm already not gonna remember it. It's just, it's funny because we know all the Pokemon types. We know like different card names and stuff like that. Okay, I probably will remember it. Whatever. Yellow is amber. Purple is animus. Animus. Right. Whatever. Green is emerald. Red is ruby. Sapphire is blue. Steel is white. Cool. Very, very cool. Strength is just the damage that they can deal. So if you go as a 3 into a 4 person, the willpower or the health, I guess, it'll go down to 1, and you'll have to keep track of it, just like how I think Magic and Hearthstone do, right? And then the lore value, how much lore you gain with the character quests. Oh, that's very cool. So we would look at the Cruella de Vil. She only has one. So, okay. So if they go on a quest, and they ended up doing that quest, then you get 1 or 2 lore. Cool. Very, 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 very cool. And then other than that, there's a rarity key. So this is a super rare down here. This is a common, rare, legendary, uncommon, super rare. I wish they kind of made these a little bit different. Oh, okay. I guess legendary is okay. That makes sense. I don't know why I thought legendary is right below uncommon. I was like, why? But this makes sense. Legendary is the rarest one. These guys are the rares. Looks like rare and super rare. This is a common. That's an uncommon right there. Okay. Now setting up the deck and hand and whatever else, each player needs their own deck. You'll also need damage counters and way how to track how much lore you have. Both come with your starter deck. So that makes sense with the other product we saw that had tokens and stuff. Shuffle your deck, set your lore tracking to 0, draw 7. Wow. You can look at the cards in your hand, but nobody else's really. Starting your hand, alter your starting hand if you choose, skip this step in your first game. You thought, yeah, I'm doing it immediately. Determine the first player by flipping a coin, rolling a die, or so on. Before the game begins, this is obviously a mulligan, right? Thank you. Not Digimon, right? Each player, no offense, Digimon players. Each player can alter their hand 1 time, beginning the first player. Usually the player doesn't have many cards with equal icons, which makes sense because of land, energy, right? We don't really need that in Digimon. We don't really need that in One Piece, even though they have a mulligan. But if you open up all of these guys and you can't pay cost for anything, you definitely need a mulligan. To do this, put any number of the cards, yes, to the bottom of the deck without revealing them. Draw until you have 7 and then reshuffle. Yes, that's the best mulligan. Thank you. That's the best mulligan. It is the Dragon Ball mulligan without redrawing. I love it. All right, moving on to playing the game. And then this is a bunch of other stuff, so I'll probably run through it a little bit. The turn is divided into 2 parts. Sure. The beginning phase is ready, set, and draw. So you untap everything. You set as far as check for effects that started the turn. So that makes sense. And then draw the first card of your deck. Cool. First player skip the step on the turn. So obviously second player gets to draw. First one don't, but they get to charge something. Which we can see here, the main phase, you can put a face down card into your inkwell at any time. Oh, okay, so your inkwell is your lands, energy, whatever it may be, but it's face down. So obviously there's no confusion of what that is. So like here, the face down card is your lands, energy, whatever, and then you exert them, you rest them. So that way you can pay for costs. Very cool. Additionally, you can do any of these in any order, etc., etc. You can play a card, use an ability, item ability, take an action with the characters that are going to be in play. For quest, challenge, exerted character, use an ability to acquire them reserve. So that means like you have to have a quest going already for one of your characters. You can challenge someone's character with your own, so you can swing into it. But obviously, you can't swing into something because these have summoning sickness. It's just a roundabout way to say summoning sickness because it says you have to have it in play already at the start of your turn, and then the ability that requires them exert. Cool. What already exerted is just rested and unrested. That's pretty much what it is. Yep. And then you pretty much you have to pay a cost for. Obviously, you have like if you have a 3 cost, then you need 3 of these guys in ready mode, I guess, and then exert them to pay for them. All 3. Inkwell is where you put your ink cards face down, and you'll use this card. You'll use the cards in your inkwell to pay costs for your cards in your hand. Blah blah blah. We kind of already know this is pretty basic. Once per turn, so just like energy and land. I think I haven't really played Magic in a long time. So there you go. We're just gonna reference Dragon Ball instead. To put a card in your inkwell, show the card to your opponent. Oh, you have to show them? That's whack. That's whack because later on, if there are things that interact with your inkwell, and you want to flip it back up and then play it, then that's whack. I don't want you to know that. Every card in the inkwell represents 1, so whenever it's on the front, that's fine. That's fine. Do we go right or left? I think we go right. I think so. Let me see. Yeah, we go right. Playing a card just means taking it from your hand and place it on the face up. Sure. Just like anything else, you can't do anything with them until the end of the turn. If you're playing a character, sure. Songs that actually, we already saw that. When you play the action card, it do what it tells you to, and then it goes to your discard pile. So obviously there's a discard pile, makes sense. And then questing to quest with one of your characters, exert them, and then gain lore to equal to their value. Oh, okay. So you can't attack with something that you play with, and you can't lore or quest to get lore at the same time. So there's different abilities. So the abilities are down there. So I'm not gonna put foot in mouth just yet. Challenging is questing is how you win the game, but sometimes you need to slow your opponents down. That's where challenging comes in. Exert your characters to set them to the challenge and choose that exerted character to challenge. You can't challenge a ready character. Obviously, there's going to be some play into that, just like any other card game on this channel. Both cards do the damage, and then look at the strength and put that damage characters on each character. Characters damage each other in challenges, and sometimes some card effects deal damage as well. Whatever the source, the damage cards stay on the character until an effect removes them or the character is banished. So you have these little counters on, like, let's say 4, you have 1, now it has 3 left, and you just keep doing that until it's gone. A character is banished when they have damage counters that reach their or exceed their willpower, etc. Right? We already saw that. We already know that, right? Challenge. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Captain Hook challenging Donald Duck. What a funny world we live in now, huh? It has 3 strength. It has 2 strength. Okay. It has 3 strength. Gets 3 damage counters. Donald deals 2. Oh, they do it to each other. Oh, that makes more sense. They just fight. I don't know why I thought they just don't fight. But with 3 willpower, Donald's in trouble. Yes, he is, because damage is equal or greater to his blah blah blah. Hook is on 4. He takes 2 damage. Later on, he'd be banished as well. Okay, very similar to, I guess, Magic, right? It's like Magic Light, and it just does the math for it. So cool, very, very cool. Nothing too crazy just yet. And then now we have abilities. So many abilities during your turn, and only during your turn. You can't use effects on their turn, I guess. These normally affect other cards in play. Cards in the player's hand, deck, blah, 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 or equal or aren't in play, so aren't affected by those. Not yet, depending on how they design a game, of course. If a card ability has a cost that appears before the effect is separated by 2 dash. Oh, wait. With the 2 separated by a dash, the cost might include exert costs, so they have to exert if they have the little arrow there, ink costs, and a text that explains the cost, or a combination of both, or any of these. You must pay every cost in order to play the card, or the ability, I should say. Character with a particular ability can't be granted that ability again. Oh, interesting. Remember that you can't use abilities of a character you just play this turn. That's fine. The Beast Mirror. Oh yeah. The Beast Mirror has ability of Show Me, which reads exert and then pay 3. If you have no cards in your hand, draw a card. If you on your turn you play this ability by exerting and paying 3 cards in equal. Wow, that's a lot just to draw a card. And if you have none, because the mirror is an item, you can play this even the ability to play the turn. Oh, okay. So I guess that makes sense since it's a mirror and you just have to tap it down. Multiplayer games. Oh, okay, so there's multiplayer, 3 or more players. Wow, okay, I didn't know that. That's pretty surprising. The game has the rules remain the same. As at the end of the turn, the player to your left takes the next turn. Okay, whenever an ability requires more than 1 player to do something at the same time, start the player whose turn it is, and then proceed to the left until each affected player does their action. Cool. Building a deck. This is pretty important. When you get to use the chart, you get to choose the characters you want and the abilities you include and the strategy you play or you want to employ. There are 2 ways to approach building a deck. The easiest way is to switch out characters to the existing deck, like they're ready to play starter decks, or you can build it from scratch, etc. Okay, it's at least 60 cards. That's a lot. Hopefully these games aren't very long. I mean, it's only 20 lore, and a lot of these cards have like 2 or 3 lore, so maybe, I don't know. Your deck can't contain more than 4 copies of the card. Fine, that's fine. You only contain cards from 1 or 2 inks, so 1 or 2 colors is what they're saying. And there's videos or whatever, but there's no videos just yet, at least the time of this posting. Cool. And then turn out at a glance, we already saw this main phase. We already kind of saw this already. And then ending the game first 1 to 20. Now there is other information. This is all coming from the GMT, I believe. It's a Game Store's magazine that was released for issue 279, which also is supposed to be out in May. But the Spark Notes here, I think, are your first to 20 wins, a 60 card deck. You can build whatever up to 2 inks, which is 2 colors. Begin the game with 7 cards and then mulligan really well, or really coolly. Is that a word? Once per turn, you may turn a card to ink, which you put it face down. You can exert characters and have them quest, just turn them sideways and then just add the lore. Exert your characters to challenge the other ones and maybe even banish them. And then only exerted characters can be challenged, so anything not in active or ready mode. And then these are all like extra stuff. So this is just the information that I already went through. The league and game night, so that's interesting. And league play, local game stores will have 12-week worth of tournaments broken up to 3 rounds. So 3 rounds, I think best of 3, which it confirms here. Best 2 out of 3 games, which is awesome. That's great. Best 2 out of 3 rounds. That's nothing. That's regular old TCG stuff. I'm down for that. And then pricing, etc., etc. There's a couple cards that we see here. It's a 4 cost 5/3, and the 3 cost 2/3. This is the vanilla, and then this, whatever is quest, you may pay 1 less for the next item. Cool. And then a bunch of other cards that I'm not gonna go through because I just simply don't want this to be too long. It really is. And then card sleeves looks pretty cool. Don't want any of these. Maybe the Elsa. Oh wait, hold on. The deck boxes are pretty much the same. Pretty cool. The playmats are pretty awesome. The the black and white Mickey always did something. I'll probably go for Magnificent. Magnificent? Oh, man, I can never say her name. Jolie. And then card portfolios hold 64 standard cards and 8 oversized cards. That's very specific. What does that even mean? That's pretty much it. All right, I talked my head off about this, but I really wanted to go in depth, go through the entire thing, and really just kind of give this a chance. Because, like I said, I didn't go through all the cards, but probably if you want to see that, I'll do it in other videos, maybe even shorts and stuff like that. I'll kind of review it through there. I've been using my shorts as different ways to talk about different things. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know what you want to see in the Lorcana, whatever TCG as well in the future, and I'll see you in the next one.